you've never heard me use houseboy more than you have to this episode.
It's wild.
Are you ready, boy? Let's get it.
Damn.
I'm Dario.
I'm Sarah.
Let's get it in 77 places in Chicago.
I've been saying I'm Sarah the exact same way for 5 years.
Yeah, your stuff ain't changed.
Consistent, baby.
Yeah, you ain't changed. Yeah, I like that. Like that
I've
about
changed
you.
a little.
You have a little bit.
I'm nicer now.
Yeah, them first few
I used
episodes.
to flame people.
No, you used to end it differently.
Yeah, I was
used to end it real
aggressively.
reckless. Yeah, you did.
And you know what? The energy is still there, and I hope you can sense it, because let me tell you something. You're already on this app, so go ahead, rate. Give a 5-star.
Bing,
if you
bing.
give less than a 5-star, don't.
Damn.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, we don't want to. We really, honestly, we're not good with feedback.
No. On a personal and professional level. No,
I'm good with it.
We'll take feedback. You could DM us the feedback.
No, don't do that either.
No, DM us, because I just won't open it.
No, you got to see it.
Nope.
You're going to leave them on red?
Yep.
All right, well, y'all.
Or you get cussed out, like that one lady that DM'd me 4 years ago, and then she started apologizing because she didn't think I was going to read it.
Yeah. She didn't think it was sweet.
You
thought it was bots?
You thought I had an assistant?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Right.
Come on, Becky.
Right, come on now. You got 2 minorities with no manager. Stop it.
Damn. Damn.
Also, you obviously rate and subscribe and all that stuff. But speaking of subscribers now, you see, this is why I was asking for them donations. This is why I asking for donations. Shout out to Eric, our first supporter of this podcast. Thank you so much. We're not gonna give out no more information, but you gonna get recognized. You are.
Yeah.
We were trying to think of something to call it. Our 77 All-Star.
I don't know. He's one of the flavors. For sure.
you definitely a spicy flavor probably.
I don't know. His name's Eric.
We know the last name. He's spicy. No, in a good way though. In a good way, Eric. I'm not going. Yeah. No. But honestly, shout out. But if you want to be like Eric, y'all, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and help us out with a nice, kind, generous donation. Yeah. Everything helps. This helps us keep doing research like we want to do.
And it helps us do things like what we did this week, which is
we had a lot of fun.
We went to Claremont Academy in Chicagoland, or technically Inglewood.
Shout out to Sarah rocking the Claremont Academy.
Yeah,
shirt
I'm wearing
over
the sweater.
Yeah.
They invited us to come and speak on Black history, and so Dario gave 2 different presentations to kids between 3rd and 8th grade. So we did 3rd and 5th, and then 6th and 8th. And we were there for like half the day. It was phenomenal.
Fulfilling.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. He got to talk about history. He got to answer a bunch of questions.
My favorite color is orange, y'all. If y'all didn't know.
Like 50 kids asked him what his favorite color is.
So I'm gonna get one kid asked me who is my favorite Black person of all time.
Of all time.
I was like,
Dario gave a cop-out answer. He said his mom.
And my mama. You know what I mean? Like, and
doesn't
honestly,
count.
not really cop-out. You know what I mean?
Cop-out.
That's my favorite shit. Gotta be, regardless of relationship, it's gotta be, I think everybody mama gotta be their favorite Black person.
You're
of all
my
time.
favor't Black person.
Well, that's fair.
Cop-out.
No, that is cop-out.
That's a cop-out answer.
No. That's the better be answer. That's what that is. There ain't no cop-out with that one. But honestly, this was cool because I was able to go back and talk to these kids. This is the vision for 77, right? To be able to do this. But for me, y'all, and I don't know which camera to look at. See, this is why we need a producer to tell us which camera to look at.
I mean,
I'm looking at the one because I'm thinking social. So anyway, the thing for me, though, is that this was 2 blocks from where I grew up as a kid.
Right?
Yes.
Isn't that insane?
Oh my God. Like
you've shared a lot that like your dream was always to be like a person of significance in your city, because like you love the city so much. But to be a person that is like giving knowledge to what could have been a young you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
literally in my block.
And I mean, honestly, like, we joke around. We're not joking when we say donate, but we're joking around about it. But like, that's literally what it supports. Like,
it does support that.
We do not charge these schools for us to show up and do these speaking engagements. And so we want to be able to offer these services for free. We're really excited to work with them when it warms up a little bit, because we've already planned some like walking tours and stuff, and we don't want to charge anyone for that.
Right.
So that's basically what you're supporting, more of this.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
And do one of these.
That's a coin in case
that's a coin.
In case you missed it.
But also one more thing about that before we slide by that. When we walked in, the magical moment for me, aside from being right by my house, The magical moment was when we walked in. We both locked in. We was a few minutes before we had to get on, right, and start talking. But when I looked up and saw that they were playing our stuff, and then the teacher said that they use our stuff.
They use our content in class.
Man,
Wild.
That was it.
Wild.
That was it.
Like,
wrap it up.
No, for real.
Yeah, because that.
I mean, it's so nice because like we feel like we exist in a vacuum. You know, like we do this research, we put this content out, we put these episodes out. We, soon there'll be a website for you to access, but it feels like we're just doing it and putting it out there. But to see that like people are actually using it in the way that we intend it for it to be used, without us having to explicitly say like, use this as teaching material. Like they're actually referencing our work, and it's so baffling.
Yeah, it's working.
Because your girl's still clocking in into a 9 to 5.
Not for long though. Well, I mean, if y'all see this, if y'all see this,
we don't know for how long. I am still clocking into a 9 to 5, and meanwhile, someone is like watching a video that like I edited in like a classroom full of like 12-year-olds teaching them about Chicago history. It's like such a surreal moment.
Crazy, man. Crazy. But here's another surreal moment. Also this week, I had the opportunity to sit with the city clerk, Madam Clerk, Anna Valencia, and Rufus and Helen, a STEAM panel. So city clerk, former, Rufus was a former
alderperson?
Education president for Chicago
CPS.
during the Daily years, and then Helen, who worked during the Washington years as an alderman. So I had a chance to sit down there, and what we talked about were the newly released files of the recordings of the city council meetings from 1970 to 2010.
2012?
2010. 2010, yeah. And my goodness, that, like, honestly, you're going to hear more about those
we have a series coming on that.
And we're going to be working with the city clerk, and her team rolling that out. But man, that was another like little, that I can't even say that's a bucket list thing, because like I didn't even think that was possible for me to do.
And you got to listen to files to like the council wars,
the parking meters,
right.
All the hair washing and stuff. I mean, the first one I listened to was the one that was on my birthday.
Oh yeah,
The day, not when I say birthday, y'all.
Like the day you were born.
The day I was born, July 10th, 84. That was the first one I listened to. Not much going on that day, but
damn, it was boring day,
except for your boy was coming out the womb. You know,
they had to leave room for that.
They did. They was like, close up shop early, man. A real one coming through.
We ate some good food this week.
We did.
We went to Volo Wine, which is super cute. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for a cute little spot. I don't drink, and they have like good non-alcoholic stuff.
Mocktails are coming through. Mocktails are coming through. The only thing they got to figure out is they got to figure out that price now.
I'll pay $15 for juice.
Shit, you tripping.
But here's the thing. If you tell me like infused rosemary, I'll pay for that. I want that. I want like a fun, I want all the, but you know what I don't like?
What?
I don't want it to taste like alcohol, but not have alcohol in it. Like I don't want like a fake gin. I'm not interested in that.
I mean, you can't fake the gin.
There's a bunch of brands that make like alcohol-free alcohol.
Yeah.
Not interested. Yeah. I don't like that flavor.
Yeah, but juice, $15 for some juice is...
No, but they get creative.
And they good, though. They good.
Yeah.
But
good ginger beer mocktails, good.
Good ginger beers. Yeah, good ginger. I'm on the fence. Ginger beer got to be good. They got to make it good.
I love ginger beer.
I know you do. You rock with it heavy.
Ginger ale, ginger beer. What? I need ginger.
They got to get it. They got to
just straight up a ginger knob.
What is that? I got to watch what I say, since the kids are listening. A ginger knob,
like a knob of ginger, like the root.
Okay.
Do you know what ginger looks like?
Yeah, I know what a ginger look like.
Yeah, so like the nub, like a nub of ginger.
Yeah, I ain't never heard that though. This is my first time.
But like logically, like deduce.
Yeah, but I thought it was like a drink or something. Knob Creek.
No.
Ginger knob. Like what's up? You know what I mean? Like
crazy.
I ain't never heard no ginger knob. Y'all don't act like y'all know too. So I'm looking right at y'all.
Like a noun, like a knob of ginger.
So it's Knob Creek.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, Prairie Grass.
Yeah, we went up to Prairie Grass. They had a dinner with Chef John Hogan, which is very famous Chicago chef.
No, we had rabbit.
He is like a French trained chef, and so we had escargot, we had rabbit, the
escargot was kind of, man, that was sketchy though. I was sketchy.
No, it was delicious.
It was delicious, but
just
man,
don't tell me that it's escargot.
Yeah, y'all. If you don't like slimy things, hey man.
But it wasn't like a whole.
It wasn't
escargot. It was. I ate around it. Not gonna lie.
I had a little taste of it, you know. But the
rabbit was delicious.
Rabbit was good. I was messing it up, boy. Mm-hmm. I was. I'm there was messing it up.
There was a fish that was also really good. Prairie Grass is like one of our favorite restaurants.
Yeah, Prairie Grass don't miss. They don't miss. We love that place. They have all kind of things. Then we had lunch at Monteverde, and that was
our first time there.
First time there, Monteverde. I'm ashamed to say that, really.
Yeah, really. It was insanely packed.
It opened up at 11, and it was barely any seats left.
Yeah,
at 11.
I will say the portions are.
The portions are
non-shareable.
Yeah, they're not shareable except for that one dish now.
Yeah, the one dish.
The one dish, you got to get that one dish.
It's like
you'll know.
$100.
What that one dish is. You gonna know what that one dish is, and trust me, you ain't gonna eat it all.
But we had the cacio e pepe, which was phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh,
we had the
slapped.
The pomodoro. I think it was like linguine.
All these
phenomenal.
All these words gonna kick my ass, boy. I ain't even trying.
Stuffed cabbage was really good.
Stuffed cabbage was. I can say that.
And it was
that
mushrooms. It was a mushroom ragu. You didn't know that? That's what happens when you don't read. You said it. You smacked. I got you on camera saying. You said that was the best ragu I've ever had.
I ain't even gonna hold you. It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
It was mushroom and nothing else. There was no meat in there.
Kids, this is why y'all read. Just read. just read.
You said you didn't want to look at the menu and I should order. So I ordered.
Read, y'all. It's fundamental. All right. That's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah. It was good. I don't even want to say it slapped anymore.
You said it already. We got it on camera. Camera 3 picked it up.
Which one is camera 3?
I don't know, the middle one. Where we're both on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into this episode. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be mind blowing.
Yeah. All right.
So prepare, fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah, it's going to be mind blowing, y'all. Let's lock
Sit
in,
down.
Y'all. Ready? Let's go.
Let's get it. So Philip A. Randolph.
Yeah.
Tell us who that is.
He is the founder of the Brotherhood of the Sleeping Car Porters, which was the first ever Black labor union in the world.
I feel like it's not like blowing my mind only because we've talked about it so many times. Mm-hmm. But I do want to acknowledge that some people might have never heard of Pullman, might not be aware of what a Pullman Porter is. So just let's take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're in the mid 1860s here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Railroads are booming. Mm-hmm. Chicago is a huge railroad partner in the country. We're buying up a bunch of railroads. We have, we're still considered the West, right? But it's we're getting there. Have not burned down yet.
No,
we will though
almost.
In a little bit. But we're starting to be a key player.
Yes, not starting. I think we are a key player at this point.
I would say we really hit our stride in the
1880s. Yeah.
But you have a young Pullman. He's in his mid to late 20s. Him and a friend or his brother, they decide to start buying up railways, or they start the Pullman. What is it they call it? The Pullman luxury.
Yeah, the sleeping car.
Yeah, the sleeping car. But they named the company something specific that I forgot to write down. But the story is that he invented the sleeping car, which was like a hotel, a luxury hotel on wheels, and he came to Chicago and he built this town, which is today the community area of Pullman. And it was one of the first employee towns.
No. Let's say that. It was the first.
Yes.
It was the first industrial town.
It was the first industrial town where the employees lived in the town. Mm-hmm. And you basically are in constant debt to your employer. So they rent you your home, that you use your paycheck to pay for that home. And then if you take out a loan, you take a loan from your employer. Yeah. If you eat at a restaurant, it's owned by your employer. It's one of those towns. And here's the thing, I read a book a few years ago. I think it was Kristen Hanna. It was about the Dust Bowl of Texas. Okay. And it talks about the family moves to California and they had lived in something like this, like one of those towns. And it was the first time I had ever in detail read what that experience was like. Like I knew the town of Pullman existed, but I'd never heard of what it was like to live in it. Yes. You're basically truly in debt. You can never get out.
You can never get out.
Yeah.
I mean, now you can see all this if you go down to Pullman, the center down there. They have a museum.
They have a museum. You can walk through it.
And they even have the dioramas of how much money people would make in like little flipboard.
It was like $45 a month, maybe, if you're making like a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then, so part of, at this point, 1867, post-Civil War, Black folks are moving away from the South or just in general looking for work.
Yeah.
And so Pullman now has these sleeping cars that are super popular. He needs people to work the cars.
Yes.
And so instead of the white folks that were working the car, he's like, I can hire cheaper labor that probably works harder and a ton of it.
And they were free. You know what I mean? They were free. They're getting paid. Yeah. But that
wasn't really the sentiment, though.
That wasn't the sentiment.
They were still treated as if they were the property of George Pullman. And that is where the name George comes from. The white people that would get on these trains would call the porters George regardless of what their name was.
They were Georgies. They were Georgies. So
horrible treatment.
Horrible. Horrible.
Horrible treatment. Very racist. Extremely just terrible.
Yeah.
They had no rights. They had nothing. And this went on until the Brotherhood of the Sleeping Car Porters came about.
Yes. And so that was 1925. And again, first labor union, first industrial town, George Pullman. That kind of give you a brief. Now, we don't want to go into that because we actually are going to do something very unique for Black History Month. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Yep.
But if you want to know more about George Pullman and the Sleeping Car Porters and A. Philip Randolph, you can do a few things. Go to the museum, go to the A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter, Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters Museum down in Roseland. You can go there and check those out. You can also listen to our podcast. We've done a couple episodes. We will list those in the show notes just so that we can move forward with this episode.
I'm going to need you to stop smushing the cushion right fast.
Damn.
It just...
Really?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. I ain't even know. Wait. Hold on. Where's the?
You can't even find the button.
I can't see nothing.
He's looking for the button that basically says. There it is. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but my intrusive thought won, and I needed you to stop doing that.
Okay, all right. Anyway, do what I said earlier. Before that. But now. Here's what we are going to do because
I'm so excited. You're excited.
I'm super excited.
This has been like your episode that you've been rooting for
the longest time.
And
so the idea came from we do things differently here on 77. You're going to hear the same stories. Black History Month. They're going to tell you the same stories, And
they're great stories.
And they're great stories. You know what I'm saying? Great stories. No shade to nothing. You got to get the history somehow. Yep. But in order to keep advancing and pushing ourselves to be different, we are going to tell you about the Pullman Porters, a Pullman Porter, and
specific person,
and a couple, the way they lived. We want to take you through a lifetime's journey of what it looked like to be a Pullman Porter.
Yep.
And I do want to say this with all due respect to a family of the person we're going to talk to, Ross Wood.
Talk about.
Yeah, no, we can't talk to him. Ross Wood, if your family is listening, if you are listening, if anybody in your family is listening, we do this out of all respect. So we're doing this out of a lot of respect and honestly,
we picked his story because it just felt like he came across as like a regular guy. He just wanted to work, but it was just like fascinating.
Yeah, and let's start there. So Ross Wood from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yep.
At the time that we pick up his journey, he is 23, 24?
23.
Asterisk, y'all.
Yeah,
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. 23 at the time we picked this up, right? He was 148 pounds, 5 feet, 9 inches tall. And how we know this is we went to the Newberry Library. We love the Newberry Library.
Yep.
They had all this information. We searched for things that we can pull. And what we pulled were the applications to be a Pullman, to work at Pullman, period. Just anything.
Regardless of whether it's a porter or a
service person,
maid or a servant, whatever it is.
We looked through that. We looked through the union
the reports and the amendments that they made and anything that they, all of their meetings, things that they wanted to bring attention to or change about their union.
Yes. And we looked through all kinds of logs. If you are watching this
on YouTube, you can see the footage.
You'll see the footage.
Yep.
Yeah. But
which I recommend you either do that or come to our Instagram. Throughout this week we'll be posting all of that information on there.
Yeah.
It's super interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So 23-year-old
Ross Wood. Now, he was from Memphis, Tennessee, and obviously he was trying to get a job. And so when we pulled his application, we found out that he worked as a servant for a guy by the name of A.R. Porter. Mm-hmm. He was a doctor. He was a hand, foot, mouth doctor is what it listed it as. And on the application, so the process is when you're looking to go to work for Pullman, you have to have, from what it looks like, as many recommendations, letters of recommendations as possible. We saw at least 3 or 4 just for Ross Wood by himself.
And that form is called Form 270 for people that like a little bit of detail.
A little bit detailed. Form 270 was the form that Pullman used to ask for referrals and recommendations. And so in his recommendation from A.R. Porter, the doctor, he labeled him as a houseboy. Mm. Yeah, he labeled him as a houseboy and said that he was a good worker.
Yep.
That he would recommend him. He was courteous. He was just a good person overall. And what's fascinating about reading things from now, this is 1907, by the way, also. This is as far back as we went with this information. 1907, almost 20 years before the Brotherhood. So the penmanship was out of control, and the way they spoke was different. Even the white people, wrote and spoke differently than, obviously nobody is eloquent now as now. But back then it was crazy to see. Answers were kind of short, and he was good as far as I could see. That kind of talk, it was like, as far as I know, he was good. But you read that and you're like, okay, that was a pretty high compliment. Right. Yeah, that was a pretty high compliment.
It was, speaking of how people speak, I just learned like yesterday that LWK is short for low key.
Man, look,
did not know that.
Kids need to go somewhere. I thought that was look.
That's
look. I don't know where the W came from, but I thought it was like a look, LEWK. Like how? Ooh, that's a look. That's a look.
No, it's LWK, low key.
Boy, I don't know. These kids, 6, 7, and all this dumb. Boy, come on, y'all, stop that. Stop it. Have some respect. Some respect. But now, hold on. He got more recommendations. So we kept on looking through his files. These files were crazy.
It's literally the file of his entire career.
We had it all in our hand. He got another recommendation from a guy named Reverend. He was a bishop. I didn't write his name down because I couldn't.
He was the letter of recommendation came from the archdiocese.
Yeah, it was of
Tennessee, which is, that's an insane recommendation.
T.F. Gaylor? Oh, T.F. Gaylor. T.F. Gaylor. I did write it down.
That's an insane recommendation.
That is.
That's as close to God as you can get, I think.
Man.
I don't know the rules of.
They said a whole bunch of nice things.
I don't know the hierarchy of the church, but it feels high up there.
Yeah, it feels high.
The bishop?
Think about it. It was God, bishop, slavery.
Is that how? Oh.
Like, that's crazy.
That is. Is that how?
It seemed like it.
What about everyone in between?
Think about it. I ain't never got no recommendation from my church pastor.
That's not surprising. Knowing you?
No, stop
Come
it.
on now.
Stop it.
You thought you would ever get a recommendation from your church?
They said, you know what? He don't have tithes.
You've been living in sin for at least 6 years.
What you mean? You've been living in sin for 6 years.
Don't worry about what I'm doing. My God's different.
This is just ridiculous.
I got a different God.
Damn, that's messed up. See, that's the problem. You better not say that on this. Somebody gonna be like, see, I knew it. Oh, yep, damn.
Ooh, rough times. I can't. Yeah, I gotta slow down.
Yeah. But that was, okay, so that was April 6th, 1907 that letter of recommendation came in. Now, here's the thing. They kept calling him houseboy. And that's on the application. He was a houseboy. Servant.
I think he put on his application servant.
Yeah. And they were like, he's a houseboy.
But it's like wild, obviously, that is the choice of word.
Let me tell you something.
Also was super young when he started working. Because one of the people who worked there for 7 years. Yeah. No, I know that is not.
Let me tell you something. Boy, calling me boy? Man, look.
I mean, the connotation is you can't argue that.
I don't. If you call me boy now, I know back then that's way it was.
But here's the
I
thing.
couldn't imagine.
It literally, like, the meaning has not changed.
No, the meaning
you know what
changed.
I mean?
But like if they try it if you want to, because
absolutely do not try.
Yeah, absolutely don't, because we're gonna throw all this shit away.
Okay, relax.
Okay,
Let's calm down.
Right.
We're gonna figure something out.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're fighting.
Yeah, let me lock back in. So yes, he got his second recommendation from Reverend T.F. Gaylor. That was May 6th, 2007. 1907.
Yeah.
100 years. Anyway. And on this one, he put down that he was a school teacher. Ross Wood was a school teacher.
That was his third recommendation. Was where he said that he was a school teacher, and then there was a letter from the office in Chicago that said, we couldn't find any records of you being a school teacher. Your application is denied until you give us proof that you were a school teacher. So he wrote his supervisor in the school and was like, can you please tell them that I was a school teacher?
Yeah.
So then we saw the letter from the supervisor saying, yes, he was a school teacher. He worked with me for under a year.
Yeah.
And here is his confirmation.
Yeah.
And that is when he was employed. This took like a few months for him to get this job.
To get this job.
To be a porter.
Yeah.
Like, and here's the thing. Of course, we recognize that like they were not treated the best until the Brotherhood came around and like slowly started to improve. But people wanted to work.
People wanted to work.
Like, to be as a black man, to be a porter, that was a respectable job.
Yeah, that was a very respectable job.
Because you had consistent income, you traveled, and you were very close to white people.
Yeah. You had decent sleeping, you place to sleep. You were, like you said, traveling. You were going to different places, and you
probably had a home.
The prospect of leaving the South to go to the North. And especially Chicago, where this is all happening. Yeah. So if this is all happening, you hear about it. You like, well, I want to go to the Mecca. Which, by the way, when we looked at the logs of, and we'll get to it in a second, but like when we looked at the logs, Chicago had the most chapters of the
four.
We had
Central, South, East, Central, South, East,
North,
West,
all the cardinal directions, and then Central.
Yeah,
we had 5 of them. You know what I mean? Like that's that part I didn't know. I didn't know they were broken down like that. And Chicago had the most.
Me neither. We had more than New York, so
right.
Now what?
New York only had 1. I know. We look. See, this ain't supposed to be shaded. Sorry, New York. Y'all gonna catch strays all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we continue with his journey because his journey was weird.
It was weird. But back to his application for a quick second, they measured mental and physical readiness.
Yes.
As they were listed as questions. Are you married? Have you ever been divorced?
Yeah.
Do you have children? What's your mental health like? Are you
strong abs?
Right.
Strong.
Like they had a physical exam. You had to take a physical exam.
You got to think though. They were just coming out of slavery. These were the same questions that they was asking the slave owners about the slaves. You know what I'm saying? So like they didn't know how to form a proper application. They were just going off the questions that they had already been answering, but at the same time, we give you money now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're free, but we still got to check you out.
Right. And your application had 3 sections, Form 270, 242, and 245. 242 was the first application you sent in. 270 was your recommendations from your employers. And Form 245 was the only one that was not in his file.
Yeah.
But I think that is the medical exam.
Right. And he passed everything.
And so the last letter before his employment starts is the letter saying, here are all of those 3 forms. His employment has now begun.
Yes.
So now he is a porter.
Yeah. He worked for him for a year and then he quit.
He did work for them. Yeah. He worked for them for a year. He quit and then he reapplied again and was accepted. Mm-hmm. He had to resubmit all 3 letters of recommendation again. Same people.
One new one, I think, but like the porter and the rep and all of them, the same people.
Same people.
Yeah.
Same information. Almost identical. Slightly shorter answers, which was interesting. They're probably like, we already answered this. Why are we answering it again?
Then he got married.
He got married
and he was supposed to come back in like a September or something like that, and he didn't come back to November.
Yep.
And they still let him work. Mm-hmm. He had moved down. They figured he moved down with, family. They granted him that to be married, which, you got to think, I don't want to sympathize or empathize or sugarcoat this at all, make it sound like it was all glory and everything. But like, they let him go down and live with his family.
Yep.
You know, create a family. They let him go create a family.
Yeah.
And that's something that I haven't
Keyword
personally read.
Let him.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. They let him, create a family. But you don't hear those things. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
you don't hear that. I'm not saying, by no means, y'all, black people, I'm not saying that this was all good.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it is what it is. We read it. It's something that we read. It's not like I'm making this up. We saw the handwriting of,
the supervisors.
The supervisor. And stuff. Yeah. Now, we jump ahead because it gets crazy.
It does.
History.
I want to say, like, he eventually transferred to Chicago. He wanted to work, and a lot of these files that we looked through, most of them wanted to transfer to Chicago.
Right.
From Pittsburgh, from Tennessee, from wherever they were, they wanted to come to Chicago. Mm-hmm. And so he did. He transferred to Chicago, and he worked for Pullman for a very long time. Until the 50s.
Yeah, 56.
58. It was so interesting towards like the end of his career there. Yeah. Mind you, we can see that how much he was paid, about $10 a week. Mm-hmm. And he traveled a ton, obviously, throughout the time that he worked there. He was stationed in Chicago. That was his main. Yep. That was the longest stint he had, was out of Chicago. And then he had a bit of a medical issue where we see a letter from his supervisor saying, hey, he needs to go see an eye doctor because his eyes are not good enough. And we think that he's going to either injure himself or injure someone that's on the train. He can't help people on and off the train, which is basically like a big part of his job.
Right.
We need him to go see a doctor.
Or else we're going to have to let him terminate him from his position. So
he goes to see a doctor, and the doctor says he is not fit to work, but I say send him to a specialist.
One date, just to give you some time frame where we are, we jumped from all the way from 1908 all the way up to 1956.
He's had no issues this entire time. He's entirely nothing else in his folder indicating that there was an issue other than the transfers and like where, his time logs. He hasn't had any issues with the company until 1956. Yeah. And so he goes to see the specialist, and the specialist's name is Earl Mers. Yeah. Right. Yeah. His office was on 33.
Second specialist.
Second specialist. Yeah. His office is 30 North,
Michigan. Yep. Boulevard.
Right. The first letter said send him to the office of E. Mers, 30 North Michigan Boulevard. Yeah. The second letter 2 years later said North Michigan Avenue. It was very interesting. But that kind of like sparked a thought in my brain while we were sitting there. I was like, Mers is like not a very common last name. I want to look this up real quick. Yeah. This Earl Mers guy. And if you're in Chicago and Mers Apothecary. I'm telling the story.
Okay.
And if you know Mers Apothecary, you know that it was once owned by a German family with the last name Mers, and he was a pharmacist. An apothecary is a pharmacy, basically, of the 19th century. And so the grandfather owned Mers Apothecary. The father worked as a pharmacist at the apothecary, and the son became an optometrist. Yeah. Dr. E.H. Mers, is the son of the guy that owned Mers Apothecary in Lincoln Square. His dad was a pharmacist, and he became a doctor.
Well, show him where they worked.
30 North Michigan Boulevard, Chicago. Earl Mers. Yeah. And so Earl Mers was the specialist that the Pullman Porters would refer their employees, or the Pullman company would refer their employees to get eye exams. Yeah. And he charged $15 for an eye exam.
$15. Now, here's the cool thing about...
and the company paid for it.
Yeah. Here's the cool thing about Mers Apothecary. That's in Lincoln Square, y'all.
Yes.
And if you know, like Sarah said, Mers, I have never heard this.
I didn't know.
Story. I wonder if Mers Apothecary knows this.
Well, the current owners have owned it since the 70s because the Mers family wanted to sell it. They didn't want it anymore.
So because it's not Mers people that owned it anymore.
Right now it's a different owner. They've owned it since the 70s. They actually just celebrated 150 years last year. And so Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't. I don't know if there's records of the Mers family in the apothecary that were left behind. It actually moved. This location it's in right now is its second location after it moved, but it moved a very long time ago, so it's been there for a while.
It's crazy because, we have found all kind of Chicago history, but like nothing that, I don't want to say that. This ties to Chicago cross town.
Yeah, it's
so two stories you would not expect. Yeah, I would not expect Mers
to be the optometrist for the
Pullman Porters
or the Pullman Company. Like he is the doctor that, and it's so funny because in the first letter he says, nope, his eyesight is fine.
It's good.
I prescribed him some glasses. He looks like he has early cataracts, but there's no treatment for early cataracts.
Right.
So he's fine for now. He can work. I can check him every couple of months, but he's good to go.
Yeah. And what's cool is that Mers was fighting for this man. You know what I mean? Like he was like, because the other,
he was like, no, he's fine.
They kept going back and forth. The other doctor we read all these logs, y'all. I keep saying it, but like, we're not making this story up. We read all the logs as we continue to look through the papers. The one doctor kept saying, nah, he ain't good for it. Mers kept saying, dude is good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mers, man.
Shout out to
Mers family, man, for rocking with the black folk back then. Honestly,
I mean, from this entry, that's what we know. I don't know what else they did.
But this is how we go. I don't want. No. You're right. We can't tell. We don't know.
I can't. Forgive their entire lineage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they were up to.
But that's so dope to hear. Yeah. You love Mers.
I love Mers Apothecary, and I love the current owners, and I feel like it's just like such a cool tie to like. Another super significant story.
And what's crazy? So now here's the thing about while this is all going on, we jumped from I believe 33 September 25th, 1933 is when he got married and came back.
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't jump from 08 to 56. We went from, and I'm sorry, disclaimer. We went from 08 to 33 to 56 now.
Yeah.
And so this is all happening all in this year in a short time frame. Yeah. He did eventually get cataract surgery.
But the Dr. Mers performed the cataract surgery.
$15.
No, the $15 was for the exam.
Okay, still $15. I wish he could go back. I need my glasses. I need my shit checked, man.
I mean, it's free with insurance. Your boy doesn't have insurance.
Donate.
I have insurance because I have a job.
Damn.
Anyway.
So at the same time this is going on now, they're checking all his records and everything like that. And they come across the fact of, is he the age that he says he is?
Wow. All right. So in 1956, he said that he needed his birth date corrected because it said he was originally born in April 6th of 1884, but he was actually born October 4th, 1888.
So he's younger than what they're saying.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Well, he submits a form requesting an adjustment in his age. He says, my birthday is not the birthday that it says on there. It's actually
they found that they were like, we don't think he's his age, and then he was saying, no, I'm this age, and then they were saying, hey, we need some more proof.
He had to get a physical.
Yeah, had to get a physical
to prove his age. I don't know how you can prove your age through a physical. I'm not a doctor, so maybe there's like an exam that you can take.
Rings on a tree trunk. That's crazy.
Cut you in half and check the rings. I don't know. I don't know what the actual exam is. I
don't know how they found that
for age.
Deduciation.
Deduction.
Deduciation. Somebody out there like that's a word.
It's not. Well, actually, my friend who got a linguistics PhD said that any word that you say becomes a word.
Deduciation.
That's how words work. Mm-hmm. I mean, does it sound dumb? That's a different story.
Deduciation.
That's
for you to deduciate.
This is ridiculous. Anyway,
so they say he was born in 1888. 1884. Mm-hmm. They find out that he was born 1888, 4 years. So he was younger.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why this mattered is because this was at the end of his career and his pension was coming up.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all. They got pension.
Yep.
This is the Pullman Porters fought for them to get pensions.
Yes.
And so these
that was very enunciated.
Pensions.
Pullman Porters.
Pullman Porters got pensions. You know what I'm saying?
That's not annoying.
And the pops in this probably going crazy. But yes, y'all, more things that if you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah.
They had pensions. And so for him, that 4-year age difference
made a difference. It made a difference because he could work for a little bit longer. And accrue more.
Yeah. Yes.
You know.
More pension.
I would have stayed older and retired early. Personally, but that's neither here nor there. I guess you need money.
But when they own to you, when they own to you back then in the day, they're like, oh, this black dude said he was.
Like, no.
Yeah. I bet you they probably didn't realize, fuck. They probably
I'm 56.
Yeah. They probably was like, no, why'd you say something? Yeah. You know what I mean? But so
they
all
wanted
that
to
was
get
going
4
on.
extra years of work out of him.
They sure did. He wanted it though.
He did.
I'm sure he was.
He's the one that submitted the form.
Yeah. So he retired 2 years later, November 1st, 1958 is when his story was over. But what we found, continuing our research and all that stuff, we were looking through paperwork. We were looking through logs of the 3 different plans that Pullman Porters were presented.
Yeah, so like during the 30s, for example, they had presented an amendment. They were going to submit a request to increase the spend for the year of 1937. And so they wanted to get paid overtime.
Yeah.
And so they, presented the log of hours. It's literally all written in pencil. It's crazy.
All pencil.
The log of number of employees, how many hours per area, if it's Chicago, New York, blah, blah, whatever city they're coming out of. And then they said projected, if we maintain these hours and this number of employees, these are the projected increase in cost.
Yeah.
And they presented 3 different plans. And each one of the plans, one would cost like $350,000 more a year, and the most expensive one was $560,000 more per year. Yeah. Pullman had the money.
They had the money.
Okay, it wasn't like we were worried about Mr. George making his end of month payments on his mortgage. Like the man had money; he could have made that increase. Yeah. It was just really interesting to see and this is like end of late 30s. Yeah. We're coming out of like a really rough time economically, and so they're trying to like revitalize.
And when you think about when I was talking to Anna Valencia during the panel, I was talking to Helen, and Helen brought up a very good point. She said a big piece of history is missing from this stuff, the recordings.
Yep.
And it's the context of the times.
Right.
Which we can get the context of the times. That's what we do, right? Yep. We're the contextualizers of these conversations, right?
So you can come up with contextualizers, but you can't come up with
deduciations of these times. But no, that's a good point that she brought up. And that reminded me of like what's going on. Think about this, right? We're in the thick of the Great Migration and
post-depression. I mean, not really post.
Not really, You're about to go into another little war.
War.
Yeah.
Like the little tiny one.
Little tiny thing, Korean, a couple of different wars. Korean War and all that stuff. Yeah. But the black population here in Chicago is kind of booming.
It's kind of thriving.
Kind of thriving right now. Bronzeville is Bronzeville at this point. It's starting to really, really take off.
Yeah.
So one of the arguments was the plans, bargain deals that they presented was overtime pay.
Right.
Which was time and a half, basically.
Yep.
Think about that.
They literally said 1.5 times.
They were among the first people to get time and a half.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
I don't know for a fact.
I don't know if the other white groups,
right.
white labor unions were
doing
doing that.
White people were getting paid a time and a half a long time ago, probably since the 1400s.
Yeah, right. Right.
They got paid 10 times.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they were fighting for that.
Yeah.
And so when you put in a context of 1936, 7, 8, right? That was wealth to black folks. And so, especially here in Chicago, something that I wanted to bring out is we talk about Pullman was down in Pullman, right? We know that it was down on the south side, but like they had a location which we found a lot of their business was being done Central Loop area.
Yes.
South Loop.
Their offices, a lot of their offices were Central South Loop.
165 Canal Street was a location.
One of their offices. Yeah, I mean, the main the main officers of the company lived in Pullman, but they did a lot of their admin building work and yes, they did a ton of it down in Pullman, but a lot of that was a manufacturing district.
Yeah, you got to think that a lot of trains were coming down through this area at this time too. So now, but also some more context to the situation, right?
Yeah.
You got Pullman is all over the country at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He lived in South Loop?
Yeah. He lived in, Pullman is everywhere.
Yeah.
He lived in South Loop, right? So this was a short commute to work. That's another good point of
he wasn't going all the way down to Pullman.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Honestly, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yes, he lived in this area. So he had to work in this area. We know we went to church. We done seen the log of him buying the seat. Found out that he really didn't go to church. His wife,
right?
He put his name down.
He paid for it.
Yeah. So
that his wife can go and take her friends. To sit in the pews.
So that was really cool. Now, another thing that we found out looking at the papers and the trails and all the things and more so the applications where people in the transfer papers. People wanted to transfer to 3 main locations.
Yep.
Chicago, obviously.
Yep.
New York, another obvious one. But St. Louis.
St. Louis was a big one.
Was a huge one that people wanted to move to.
But, that's not surprising. Mostly because of its proximity to Chicago, I feel like. And
a lot of work out of there.
A lot of work. Yeah. You're moving up north. It's probably one of the first cities you hit.
Something else too. So when you break down the 5 areas of Chicago, right? You got central, north, south, and west, east and west. The Chicago South was the one that worked with St. Louis a lot.
Yep.
So I'd imagine, just putting this together, that people wanted to be closer to home.
Right.
Let's take Ross Wood, for example. From Memphis, Tennessee, I'm sure that's a much better commute for him to kind of come out of if he is out of Chicago, but can go through St. Louis. And, I'd imagine that was probably the thought process, maybe some selling points of people, bosses and things like that. Say, hey, look, we'll move you down here so you can, for example, if you want to get married, start a family, it's easy for you to commute.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you use the port. And, so part of it was one of 2 things happened first, right? If you worked,
240 hours.
240 hours.
Or 11,000 miles.
11,000 miles. Whichever one came first, right?
You would get a time and a half.
You would get
that would be considered overtime.
Yeah, you would get your money. And so think about it. If I live in Chicago, or if I work in Chicago and I live down here or whatever, and I'm traveling back and forth to do all this, I'm racking up the miles. You know what I'm saying? But see, we were looking at the numbers. They have a legend on how to read the
like the notes of what the keys actually meant.
What the keys meant. And so there were some red, you know what I mean? Especially
I think those red circles were the ones that were making overtime.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure those are the ones they were trying to let's stop that.
Yeah.
Let's stop that. So that's literally a lifetime of what it was like to be a Pullman Porter.
Yeah. And I don't want to wrap this up without really talking about one of the greatest accomplishments of the Pullman Porters that is other than the Brotherhood, which was revolutionary.
Yeah. Labor union.
Right. It was obviously we talk a lot about the Great Migration and the role that the Porters played in. If you choose not to go back and listen to those episodes, I do want to kind of throw that information in there about that, without the Porters, the Great Migration probably would not have happened.
Absolutely.
Because they took, the newspapers from the Chicago Defender and they would carry them down all the way south and kind of tell people about Chicago so that they can start moving up. And people thought, they didn't know they were coming to Chicago. They thought they were coming to New York.
Yeah, they thought they was going to New York. Now, here's the other thing. If we take Ross Wood as an example, right?
Yeah.
He was young cat when he started.
Yeah.
Young cat. So by the time they were trying to tell people to come to Chicago,
he was in his 40s.
Yeah, he was. He was. Now he knew what it meant to be up here in Chicago. Yeah. So we just took a small sample of what people were like, right, using Ross Wood, right? There was hundreds of Ross Woods. Thousands of Ross Woods.
Thousands. At one point, the Pullman Porters became the largest category of work for Black Americans.
Yeah.
It employed the most Black Americans in U.S. and Canada.
Yeah. So
or Black Americans, I guess. Yeah. Black people in U.S. and Canada.
Yeah. So think about it. They worked before the migration started to happen, so they knew. You know, and for them to do what they did is just absolutely amazing.
It might have started out as like not intentional, but then quickly they realized that this was something. Yeah,
and they knew, hey, you got to come up here.
Yeah,
because look what we're doing. We travel because that was the selling point. We're traveling, we free, we get money, we got housing.
Yeah,
you know, they were doing Chicago is dope.
Yeah,
you know, they were showing the paper to this is what's happening in Chicago. So again, to your point, 1936 in our point. It was lit.
Yeah.
You know, so it's looking good.
And now that we're like in the 50s, we've wrapped up Wood's career. One cool thing that we found when we were looking through the documents of the 50s was a piece that was in technically it's in the vault, right, of the Newberry Library.
In the vault, y'all.
You want to share?
Man, look, we found a time card, a sheet of a guy by the name of Malcolm Little. His name, you probably know, Malcolm X. Y'all, this is Malcolm X's Pullman employee card. He worked for
2 days.
2 days for 12 and a half hours not to be rehired. Oh my God.
He was a cleaner.
He was a cleaner. But he did it. Oh, he only worked there to kind of prove a point about how they were treating blacks and how things were being done. And this was back in 1941. He worked from June 25th, 1941 to June 27th, 1941. This is absolutely amazing. It's in this box. We can't take it out, but that's why we showed you the video. Malcolm Little from, his address was 89 Harrishoff Parkway? No, that's not Parkway. It's Roxbury.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
He was naturalized. He was single. He was a male, and he was colored. Born May 19th, 1922.
Apparently a menace to them.
Apparently a menace.
Not to be rehired.
Do not employ this man, is what they said.
Worked for Pullman as a cleaner. That's what it was listed.
For how long?
2 days. He worked
a total of 12 hours.
A total of 12 and a half. We'll give him a half. 12 and a half hours. And the whole point of it was to be like, this is some BS.
Yeah.
This is some BS. Look at what y'all got us doing.
Yep.
But yes.
And what his card said something on the end of it that said, never to be employed here again.
Never to be employed again. He must have been a tyrant, and we know he was. He was a tyrant
as
them.
He should be.
To them. Yes. He was a tyrant to them because he still was fighting for, hey, let's do this thing right. You know what I mean? Like, y'all not treating us right. He was a cleaner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He listed as a cleaner. So
isn't that insane?
First of all, shout out to the Newberry Library, man.
Phenomenal. The team there is like so passionate about what they do. This is a free library that anyone can access. And truly all you have to do is either go online and look through their records and pull the information that you want, or you can reach out to them and be like, hey, I'm doing research on this something. Or if you're not even you're just interested in learning about a topic, they will pull the information for you and they will help guide you in your research. And we've been used them over the last 5 years endlessly. They do not pay us a morsel to talk about this.
No.
We are just so passionate about a free access to information. Yeah. I think it can be intimidating because it's so overwhelming, but they make that easy because they help you, kind of guide you, and they want to help you. So they want people to ask.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And one thing that they brought out that was not part of the information that we pulled like 5 boxes
of big boxes, y'all.
Giant boxes of folders and stuff. But one thing that we did not pull was this book that one of the librarians brought to us, and she said, this sits on my desk. And it is a cookbook from a porter that was no longer a porter when he wrote this book. And it's a cookbook. And he shared recipes, and his name is Rufus.
Rufus Estes.
Rufus Estes. And he said, good things to eat. Good things to eat, according to Rufus, is the name of the cookbook. And we flipped through it. And I mean, if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see a couple of recipes pop up on there this week. It is
Sarah cooking, not me, y'all.
Yeah, right. Daria will eat.
Yeah, I'm a consumer.
But it was such a cool thing to see that that's one thing that they do. She'll be like, she said, what are you guys actually looking into so I can help you?
Real quick about Rufus Estes. So Rufus Estes was from Murray County, Tennessee.
He was a former slave, wasn't he?
Former slave, 1857. He moved to Chicago in 1881, and he did a bunch of different jobs. Worked with a bunch of different people.
Like royalty.
Royalty. He worked and cooked for, I should say, because he was a cook down there, head chef.
Yep.
He also worked at 77 Clark Street for 2 years, and he made $10 a week.
He didn't list what he worked as in that location, but I am assuming it was a restaurant.
Restaurant, head chef.
I don't know about head chef.
He was probably, I mean, think about it. As a black man, 1881.
I don't know. They were letting them head chef anything.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him do anything else. Think about what else was he doing? He wasn't a head person of the house.
Line cook?
No, they wouldn't have white people cook. Not for. I feel like they would.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah. That was below them.
Yeah.
That's true. But I just wanted to give that context. But the book is dope because
it's really cool.
Yeah, got a lot of stuff in there that
Unfortunately, I'm never going to be able to own it because it's like a piece of history.
Yeah,
but
it's history. You can't find that. You can't find it.
I might be able to thrift it.
Yeah.
So, one day when I'm rich.
Yeah, right. Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
As soon as you donate. Anyway, let's take it home with some stuff here real quick.
All right, so wrapping up this episode, we got our usual low questions here. Where are we 10 years before this? We touched on a little bit on this while we were, talking through the episode. Prior to the Black Pullman Porters, where were we 10 years before? We can't go as far back as 10 years, but we can go back as far as like 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
And it was only white people worked the trains.
Right.
The shift to Black porters was quick
Yeah.
because it was so much cheaper to employ them.
Yeah.
And so Pullman wanted to save that coin.
Yeah, right.
Prior to the
wanted to save.
Yeah. Prior to the Brotherhood of the Sleeping Car Porters, what was it like? Work conditions were demeaning.
Yeah.
All workers, like we mentioned, were just treated
You were referred to as a Georgie.
Yeah.
That was just a nice way of saying,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just the same word with a different sound.
Yes.
Where are we 10 years after? So after the Black porters first one, not first one, but like they began to be hired in 1867. This became the largest category of Black labor in the U.S. and Canada, like I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And then after the BSCP, the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, they started having more and more kind of like not just rights, but work conditions that were tolerable.
Yeah.
They fought for their rights to as a union.
A. Philip Randolph did his thing.
Yeah.
He did his thing. He came to the table and he came to the table strong.
Yeah.
Love it. You said shit.
No, I'm reading my notes and I'm like, I have no idea what I was trying to say here. Anyway, some books and movies. If you are interested in learning more about the Porters specifically and what their life looked like, I put down a list of some books that are kind of like researchy books, nonfiction. You have Rising from the Rails, Pullman Porters and the Making of the Black Middle Class by Larry Tye. Great book, one of like probably the most recommended books about the Porters. Okay. Then you have the Pullman Porters in the West Oakland. This is an Arcadia publishing book, which if you've ever walked into a Walgreens and looked at their stack of books, it's those books that have like a sepia cover. You know those books?
Oh, yeah. We got a couple of them.
Yeah, we have a ton of them. You can pick them up pretty much anywhere that sells books. And they're generally inexpensive because the authors don't really make money off of them.
And a lot of the authors are local.
A lot of the authors are local.
Have one on that podcast.
Yeah, a ton of the authors are local. And they really write these books for the money to go back to a specific organization that like has something to do with the topic. So if you're buying those books, that's who you're supporting. You can go on Arcadia Publishing and see what that looks like. Then we have the Pullman Porter and An American Journey. This is a German name, Venita Oilschlager. It's a children's book. And so if you have children and you want to kind of introduce them to the history of the Pullman Porters and you want something that is engaging for a child, this is a good one. Then we have They Call Me George, The Untold Story of the Black Train Porters by Cecil Foster. Another one of those like nonfiction kind of reads. If you're looking for more of a novel, The Sleeping Car Porter by Suzette Meyer is a good one. And then for movies, I listed 10,000 Men Named George. I believe this movie is free on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can go. That's the only place that I was able to find it. But yeah, that's a list of. I'll list those in the show notes, so you don't have to remember all of that. But those are some places for you to start. And as always, you can go back to our previous episodes. We'll list the ones that we've discussed: Pullman or the Pullman Porters or Philip A. Randolph, or any of that information that we mentioned here today that we really didn't dig into that we've talked about in previous episodes. You can go back and listen to those. Yep. But that's all I got.
That's all I got too. That camera died. Camera A definitely died. That's definitely camera A. It's gone. Camera A is gone. But
they didn't need to know that.
They're gonna see it's just going back and forth between me and you. Not no main camera. But that was fun. That was fun.
I'm glad we got to do it because that was like your number one episode.
Number one episode.
It was great.
It was fun.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a 5-star review.
5.
Leave us some nice comments. If you have some topics that you want us to talk about, you can always DM us or reach out via email. All of our contact info is in the show notes.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
I'm going to do my thing like Tony Reale off, what is that show on ESPN? The Paper Toss. See y'all. Bye.